Today we are diving into something big. Two Florida cities ranked among the top 10 fastest growing cities in the entire country. According to a new LendingTree report, Orlando came in at number 2, and get this, Deltona came in at number 9. Now, if you're a local, you may be thinking, how in the world did Deltona rank among the biggest growing or the fastest growing metros in the country? Well, I thought the exact same thing, and today we're going to uncover why these two metros ranked in the top 10. Hi, I'm Charlie Peterson with Keller Williams Heritage Realty. I operate here in the North Orlando market, covering all real estate needs here in the area. If you're considering moving here or within the area, please reach out to me on the phone number on the screen, or go ahead and send me an email, and that is found in the show notes and here on the screen as well. Now, let's get back into it. Now, Deltona ranked in the top 10 at number 9 among the fastest growing metros here in the United States. Now, if you know Deltona, the city itself, you may be thinking, well, isn't that just a large sea of houses? There's predominantly no commercial there. It's very a residential community. There's not a lot going on there in Deltona. That is true. The other fact about the U.S. Bureau of Statistics is that Deltona is actually referring to the entire Volusia County area, and then Orlando is referring to the Orlando-Kissimmee area as well. So including places like Disney, Universal, all the way through downtown Orlando and Seminole County, that's the Orlando metro area. And then Deltona's metro area is the Volusia County area. And you may know cities like Daytona Beach or New Smyrna Beach. And those are very popular among many of the locals, and even like a popular race called the Daytona 500. If you're into NASCAR, you've probably heard of that. Even if you're not into NASCAR, you've probably heard of the world's most famous beach being Daytona Beach. And so those metro areas encompass the top 10 growing that are fastest in the United States. So what's fueling this explosive growth in the Orlando and Deltona metros? Well, in Orlando, median earnings were up 18.1%, which is the 5th highest in the nation. The workforce expanded by 8%, which is the 9th highest. And then the GDP grew 11.7%, which is the 6th overall in the entire country. So those three metrics led to the Orlando's major growth. Now, in the Volusia County area, which is referred to as Deltona, GDP was up 11.5%, which is 6th highest nationwide. New business filings grew by 14.9%, new housing units by 14.7%, and the population increased by 5.3%. Now, if you're familiar with the Daytona area and the DeLand area of Deltona and so forth, you know that there's so much new construction going on out there. You've probably heard of communities like Lakewood Park, Margaritaville, places out in New Smyrna Beach, LPGA Boulevard, and all of those areas are just massively growing with so much new construction because there's a lot of land. A little bit further south in the Orlando area, to see a lot of the buildable land, it's expanding out towards like Apopka through the 429 area. You've got south of Orlando and Point Siena, Davenport, Kissimmee area that are exploding. Now, areas where there's not a lot of new construction would actually be north of Orlando in that Winter Park through Sanford area. Sanford's got a little bit of new construction, but for the most part, those areas are almost fully built out between Volusia County and Orlando. Okay, so not only is GDP growing, the workforce, new business filings going on, there are actually some really major projects that are proposed to go in Orlando that are actually pretty exciting. And out in Deltona, there's another big project that we're going to talk about in just a second. But here in Orlando, there is something that Elon Musk, the Boring Company, and Universal are in talks to partner with to encompass a transit system that is an underground tunnel. And this is called the Loop out in Vegas. And this is something that they just rolled out. So Tesla vehicles are unmanned, and they're taking people through this loop to transport them around the city. Well, here in the Orlando area, if you've been here before, traffic can be very difficult. And so they're proposing to take this loop system and place it in between the Universal cities, downtown Orlando, and then future plans would bring it out to the airport. Now, this may look a little bit different than in Vegas, where they've got the underground system out there. Here in Florida, if you know, this is practically a swamp. So anything underground to me sounds like a nightmare for an engineering feat, but it would be really cool to see what they plan to do with this. Here in Florida, we've got a lot of aquifer systems and a high water table. So there's no basements really here in Florida for that reason, because it's such a difficult engineering proposal and a water risk, especially, with different seasonal events like hurricanes and the rainy season and so forth here in Florida, you can get rain almost every single day, and that water soaks into the ground so fast it would cause a lot of issues for basements. That's why they're not very popular here in the Orlando area. The next major project that they're doing is they're revamping a lot of the transit systems throughout the entire Orlando metro area over the next 20 years. And there is projected to be $30 billion invested into these new transit systems. This is likely to include several toll roads, several major connectors, ease of convenience, maybe express lanes along some of the other major toll road areas, or even like I-4. So I-4 just finished a huge portion of the I-4 Ultimate project, and it really has, I don't really care what anybody says, it has helped improve the traffic in the downtown Orlando area, and even getting up through the Seminole County area for commutes. So this is just going to expand all of this future growth that is spreading outward in the Orlando area. It's going to allow you to live a little bit further away and commute a lot easier because of the ease of traffic. And this will be great for development. In the Volusia County area, there is a massive project going on called Deering Park. You may have known this as like the Farmington or the Farmington project. Well, Deering Park is going to be a roughly 70,000 acres of land that they're going to be utilizing for this, but only about 26,000 of it is projected to be developed over the next handful of years, and that's going to start here in 2026. They're going to encompass 55 plus communities, active adult communities, villas, single family homes, commercial, and that is projected to bring a lot of growth, job growth, and commercial growth in the Edgewater area. So this is just south of New Smyrna Beach, almost along 44 and 95 out towards the New Smyrna Beach area. But this is largely going to be along the west side of Edgewater on the west side of I-95. And Indian River Boulevard is going to be that major connector into the Edgewater area. This project is going to be huge, and if you're familiar with the area, there is a shortage of active adult communities, which is a growing demand for people who don't want to go out to the villages or out towards Ocala, so forth. If you want to be on the East Coast, there's really not a ton of options for you to choose from in this area. You've got Victoria Gardens over in DeLand, you've got the Crestwind and Lake Quinnesset, and then other than that, you've got to go up to Margaritaville and Daytona Beach. But these communities, there is more demand for it than there are supply. So out there in Deering Park, there's going to be a new community going in, and the prices should look a little bit different than what is also involved in the other projects here nearby. Let's talk a little bit about what's drawing thousands of new residents to Orlando daily and the Volusia County corridor. Well, the cost of living here in the Orlando area is 6% below the median across the national average. Access to beaches, lakes, and theme parks, plus endless outdoor activities, and you can be outside year-round. You may not want to be in summer when it's 100 degrees, but you can be outside year-round, especially in the winter months. It's much different than the up north feeling. You also have a strong job market, future outlook on job growth. The Orlando area is among one of the biggest. It's ranked number 2 because a lot of corporations starting to bring jobs here. There's favorable tax systems and so forth for income. And so it is a major booming city, ranked number 2 according to LendingTree in the nation. You've got a lot of top schools such as the University of Central Florida, Stetson, Embry-Riddle, which is like an aeronautic engineering school. And then you've got popular communities like Lake Mary, Winter Park, Windermere, DeLand, New Smyrna Beach. These areas are very popular for people coming from out of state into the area, or even destination points for retirement for those who are living maybe in a different suburb and moving outwards. If you're considering moving here to the Orlando area, we would love for you to like and subscribe to this channel for more future updates and information like this. Plus, if you're considering moving here, please give us a call. We would love to help you out with your real estate needs, help answer any questions you might have for your real estate move. And if you need a realtor in the other states, we have lots of connections that we can get you help with in order to make this a seamless transition, because the last thing we want you to do is have a stressful move here to the Orlando market. Now, we're looking forward to getting connected with you, so we'll see you on the next video.